Okay, so we're into chapter 11 of Keep Me by Sara Cate. And we have a shift in perspective. For the first 10 chapters, we've been following Sylvie and her thoughts, her desires, what's going on in her life. And now, finally, we get into the head of Killian Barclay. I. I'm in trouble, folks, because I actually really enjoyed this chapter. And I find myself starting to like this book, which is weird. Because I was only doing this for a book club, you know? But we'll see. I like the perspective I was seeing from Killian. Because in Sylvie's eyes, he's a brute. He doesn't care about anyone. He's just a jerk. Okay? But we're now can see through his peepers. He's actually a caring guy. Um, Basically, he discuss. He spends the first part of chapter 11 talking about what Sylvie does, and they don't really talk. She goes and she does things, and he reveals that he's really happy he picked her because she's so irritating, so entitled, thinks she can do whatever she wants, and he is happy because in the end, when he breaks up with her, he's not hurting someone who is kind, someone who is caring. No, he's just going to be putting a biatch in her place, and he's happy about that. He's basically going to be spending a year just raining on her parade. And in his mind, it's good that he's doing it towards someone that is bad, irritating, So I like that part. Him and his sister Anna have a discussion, and Anna's like, yo, man, you gotta go do some stuff. You've been here a month now. So it's time for you guys to get out and about. And he's like, well, how about we have a party? And Anna's like, no parties. And he's like, not that kind of party. I'll call some of my buddies over who have kids. They'll stay the weekend, and we'll have a nice little get together. And he's like, and that's what I'm going to do, Anna. And Anna's like, fine. Okay. So Sylvie comes in and she gets told that there's going to be this little fiesta. And Sylvie's like, oh, God. But, she has to do it. It's in the contract. Her and Killian argue, as they tend to do. Okay? And it just doesn't seem like this is going to work out, that they're not going to be able to fake it. And Anna makes it clear, you know what? This party's going to be a test. If you two can't get it together and make it work, then we failed. And we're not going to go on. So it's like, oh, okay. That gets everyone's attention real quick. Now, Anna then leaves. Here's a little tidbit that I liked. I'm just going to give it to you. They had asked for tea so that Sylvie, all three of them can share a spot of tea, right? But Anna leaves before that can happen. The maid brings it in, and you see that Killian's like, oh, God, I hate tea. And I know that Sylvie only drinks coffee, but I don't want to be rude. I mean, we just asked these people to make it, so I'm going to have some tea. And I really like that. So we're seeing a gentle side, from the inside of Killian. He's a good guy. He cares about other people's feelings, even if on the outside he's like, oh, fuck all you, There is a part he had said at the beginning of the chapter where, he felt like the walls were closing in this big house. And he's like, I mean, I could go to a pub, or I could go here and there, but I don't want to be around people. I don't want to be around stupid people. I just want to be left alone. But so you can see the conflict of himself. He wants to be alone, but he doesn't. So at the end of the chapter, Killian and Sylvie actually have a little flirtatious moments. Because they're discussing what they're going to say if they're asked certain questions. How did you guys meet? And Killian's like, we'll just tell him the truth. And Sylvie's like, you're going to tell him that I broke in? And he's like, yeah, my friends will expect that out of me. Somebody broke into my house and I fell in love with her. And she starts getting a little flirtatious. But she's also like, yeah, but that's going to make me sound like a criminal. And I love Killian. He goes, you are. You've broken into my house. Okay? And me and him are on the same page. Sylvie is a criminal. She needs to go to jail. She needs to go to jail. But I digress. So at the end of it, they're flirting a little bit, trying to figure out what they're going to call each other. Because, when you're in a relationship, you have these cute little nicknames. And in the end, they just settle on Darling, which I personally hate. But this ain't my love story. So, at the end, they agree. And that is the end of Chapter 11.